2012 78 VDJ78 series troop carrier. It's slightly modified. I bought this stock a few years ago, about 2 years ago. It had 30,000 on the K, clocks on the K, and it's now got 60,000 over it. So running a factory Toyota bar right here. Nothing fancy, nothing at all. Just with your standard winch insert, which is a Toyota winch. It's called the brand Super Winch. It's called. It's not from Full Drive Super Center or anything like that. Just the Toyota brand called Super Winch. It's running our steel cable at the moment. It's going to go synthetic. Got a UHF bit up the front here. Got some rod holders. What you might not see behind the rod holders themselves is actually a flag mount for my flag, which sits in the back of my car. On the roof, we're running it's a 2-basket system. On the first basket, it's got a 120-watt solar panel, 42-inch light bar, and 2 HID spotties. The front here is a great white 20-inch spotlight, or spot flood light bar. To be honest, some people go, "Oh, you're a bit overkill with light," but you can never have too much lighting. On the side here, we're running cut snake flares. They're just basically, I fitted them myself, put them in place, and just put some screws into your side. A lot of people don't like that, but to be honest, I've had different types of flares in the past, and I haven't been able to destroy these. Then we're running the factory cruiser snorkel. Runs up to a cut ram head that I've changed it from a pod on top to run to get a bit more airflow coming through. I've only recently done that, so I don't know what benefits in that. A lot of people say there's a lot of benefits to it. I don't believe in it. Also running the clear view towing mirrors. As you might see, they haven't been used in a long time. Right here we're running a Goodyear Wrangler MTR with Kevlar. So it's probably the best tie I've ever owned. A lot of people go, "Oh, muddies are noisy on the road." They're not. This is a 305 70 R16 tyre. It's not that big. Gets me everywhere pretty much with it. To be honest, don't really need to go much bigger. If I was going to go bigger, I'd just go 315s. It's not that much bigger. Underneath here, I'm running the remote res shocks from Train Tamer. Also running their smart coils in the front. Works wicked. Good setup, no issues at all. And that, just running your standard ASI manual locking hubs. As you can see, I've run AVMs and that. If you're not going to run big tyres, just stick with these. There's no point spending the money on AVMs, hubs, if you're going to not do decent sized tyres. So on the back here, it's no difference. Talking about tyres, this back tyre here has got about 80,000 on it, and as you might not be able to see from this, but we're expecting 100,000 out of these tyres. These were basically given from a mate down in Perth, who basically works the tyre shops, and I followed him around, and I said to him, "You've got to give me a tyre that I can't kill." I've killed only one of these tyres, and that's from having a plug in it. And I shredded, doing 110 k's an hour on a big long highway, over about 700 metres stopping distance. Shredded this whole section here. The whole back of the tyre was intact, where normally where you blow a tyre, the whole lot just shreds off your rim. And I've seen some pretty bad ones. Running the Train Tamer parabolic 700 kilo springs in the back here. These all my suspension was bought through Auto One Carafa. through Scotty. If anyone needs anything trained tamer, you can go see him and he'll hook you up with some stuff for a decent price. It's not too bad. This side of the car here, I run a 270-degree awning from Dutch clips. It is a wicked awning. I've had this out 4 or 5 times since I bought it. I've never had an issue with it. It seems pretty strong. Like the tubes itself is thick enough that if you really wanted to, you could probably walk across the beam. I don't recommend doing that though, but you could probably do that and it'd still stay up. It's just bolted to your supercenter rack, just a normal supercenter rack. As you might see, there's a second right here. Is the second rack. I had 2 roof racks, and I couldn't be bothered changing my solar panel and all my lights over, so I just put the second rack on the front. And I'm really happy with how it sits now. Because I've got a spot from the solar panel and a spot at the back here for anything else. The back of the car, I've got a single spare for now. This one's a Yokohama. Goodyear had no of the tyres in stock that I had, so I had to go ahead to come give me a spare to get home. Just waiting on the supplier to tell me that they got them in stock. Sorry, she wants to go in the car. Sitting up here is a reverse camera. Basically full on reverse. It only comes on when I go into reverse. Basically, that's the tricky. At the moment, I'm running a King score system. It needs to be changed. I don't like it. Ever since I bought it, I haven't liked it, to be honest. But I've just run with it for the time being, because I need some drawers and I want cheap ones for the time being. On the back of the drawers, I've actually got a false floor with containers underneath it. On here, I've got a full recovery kit, and then I've got not recovery kit, tool kit, and then under the floor is the rest of my tools, my specialised tools, and that. These are just my spanners, my sockets, screwdrivers, stuff you always need handy. I've just created a box and put them all in there. I've got my ratchets. I actually run two jacks. I've got the standard soda jack. I also run a big fat bottle jack, and then I've got the high lift jack on the car as well. For those who don't know, we had an incident one time when I went out full driving. The Julima, mate's patrol, basically broke the rear pinions. On this side here, we have an ARB twin compressor with an ARB 4-litre tank. It's all good, runs perfect, the ARB compressor, I love it. Don't like the tank, it's too small. In here, I've got mesh screens. So these here mesh screens on either side. They're basically the support that cut a bit of the temperature out at the moment. They're in there to stop this one from scratching the windows when we were camping. We've been trying to keep it a camp in the back of the car. It hasn't been working, she's been chewing on everything. At the very back there, we've got the cargo cage. On that cargo cage at the moment is a power cigarette lighter power point, which normally runs down to the fridge where Cookie's standing right here. So my fridge sits up on here. There's a 1000 watt power inverter under that false floor as well. Keep all my electronics charged to that when we go. I don't really use it, but it's always handy to have a power inverter for when you need it. Basically, not much going on the front here. to my camper trailer camera, and I can actually see what's directly behind the camper trailer. So I have to where I park the camper trailer, it's a really tricky spot, and in the past I've actually hit things, so I prefer to be able to see at the back of the trailer. Just got your few little switches here, the light bars, spotties, rock lights, AFB compressor. Up here I've got the Hema Maps dash mount. Like I said, it's not much going on. It's basically simple inside. Got stuff on the cargo cage, got some stuff sitting behind the seats. Other than that, it's basically simple. I prefer to try to keep it as simple as I can. In the future there will be a head console with, I'm paying for all my gauges here, second UHF. Oh, and UHF's there, which hides behind the gear sticks. So like I said, there's nothing really changed too much on this engine or anything. Just got your standard battery, your standard 2 batteries, your cranking battery, your secondary battery, a Reduct BC-DC, which I'm having slight issues with. If you own a Cruiser or anything like that, go see PDP for their brackets for them. They are so handy to have. Like that just sits nice and snug in there. You can put an Anderson plug there as well. I'm happy with it. Then it's just run up for a basic wiring to, they call them mini fuses that sit there, and then run off to the batteries. As you might see here, I've actually got a Reduct BC-DC here, but it's not hooked up. The whole idea of that is if that goes or these go, I can always plug this straight back in, this BC, this Reduct system back in, and I can always have battery power going to this battery. This battery is only a 90 amp hour battery. It's a marine grade battery. Like I said, there's nothing much different. I did have a catch can on this, but it was blowing smoke. It started blowing smoke, lots and lots of white smoke. What ended up happening with some of the catch cans on the VDJs is over here is basically really only other thing I've added in. I've built my own bracket to fit a Direct Plus fuel filter kit, which runs the whole way around, because on the 70 cruisers this is the only place you can mount them. You might see here is a lot of wires. This is actually for my winch box. That's my winch box, which plugs here for there and runs down to my winch. Just want to add this extra one in. This is a train tamer air filter. It's probably about 50-60, not 50, it's about 5k, 60 k's old, 60-70 k's old. I live in the Pilbara. This is their seal kit that train tamer runs. As you might see in the box, that is clean. That is not, and that is the start. And I want to put it to this, that this whole kit and the whole airbox was cleaned when I actually installed this bit of gasket around the outside. It's pretty simple to do. You can do it in your own driveway. You just take the box lid out and fit it that way. So, bit of Q&A. A lot of people asking about roof racks. That one there is just to hold my, basically all my camping gear in it. When I take my swag, or I take my tinny, which goes with my rooftop tinny, my trailer actually goes up into that basket under the tinny before the tinny goes on. The front one there runs the solar panel. It's just designed for the solar panel. I've had before in a vehicle before, I had a solar panel underneath the basket, and I find it wasn't affected. Even on top, you got the chance of something damaging it, hitting it, and smashing it. Where it sits in here, and you got a bar work which is about 200 mil above the top of the solar panel to ricochet some of the branches and stuff off. Basically I built this cruiser for the travelling aspect, but I've also built it under the whole touring, where I'm planning to tour Australia in it at some point. A lot of people go, oh, why don't you go roof conversions and all that. I don't want roof conversions. I'd rather swag it around Australia or caravan it. But the whole idea of this car, design it and build of this car, is to get us out to those really remote places. Things that I've got to work on, I have a lot of things I've got to work on. First things I'm going to do is rebuild that back drawer system and that. So I have a 95 litre fridge to sit in the back, which is going to go in at some point. Next is front recovery points. Look, a lot of people judge me because I don't run any recovery points on the front, but I've never been bogged in this thing. Well, I've bogged enough that I needed someone to snatch me. I've got the winch on the front. I can always go backwards. Most of the time I just either bring out the treads, which I throw on the back or on the roof, which that is one of the other things I'm going to upgrade, is from the treads to the max tracks. They take out a little less room than the treads do. You get 4 max tracks to 2 treads, pretty much. One of the other big things I want to do is twin lock the car, put twin lockers in, just make it that more reliable off-road. Can do all those lot harder hills and that. Got to change a few aspects with the suspension. It doesn't flex well, and there's going to be some of those haters out there who go, oh, they don't flex at all, you got leaf springs, don't flex. I want to tell you something. After running that 75 series ute I once owned, leaf springs, if you can't flex with leaf springs, you don't know how to full drive properly, or you don't know how to set up your car properly. A lot of people judge me because I said that, but it is true. I used to take my 75 and basically flexed it on it was just a standard lift, flexed on a hill like a log like this, drove right up it, no issue at all. Some bloke and he's jacked up, it was about 3-inch lift patrol, went, oh yeah, I can do that too. Drove up there, didn't even get up there. My wheels kept on the ground the whole time I was up there. This is what I'm saying, is if you don't set your car up right, you can't flex it. I've got to just change a few things in the front and the rear, and I can fix my flex. What else about the car? It will be going, like I said, the back is the first section of the build I'm going to do. I'm going to redesign the back. I'm going to add a bit more bar work around. You have to wait and see for that one. I'm not sure who I'm going to use for that yet, but I'm still contemplating and designing it all at the moment. Engine bay. People spend thousands of dollars on the engine bay. What gain do you get? You get nothing. Alright, I'm just going basic engine bay. I'm going to remap the car, put an EGT blanking plate in, put a brand new heavy duty clutch in, as you have to. It is running a 3-inch Manta exhaust. Sounds wicked. Basically, there's not much more to go off the car. Just a few bits and pieces. I am looking at designing actually a headboard. I think they're called. Yeah, headboards for in the car, from the front there, over the driver's seat. That will hold all my gauges. It will hold my second UHF. I'm hoping I can make something to mount my actual HEMA maps up in there. so it's not sitting on the dash down low, it's sitting up high out of the vision. I am also looking at a grandpa visor. A lot of people don't like them, but they are actually really handy to do. There's not much more to do, but you have to stay tuned for it and watch for it. And like I said, I'm going to do another video about the lights. Then I also got a full-on camper trailer built. You'll be surprised about that one. That I can take, where I take that custom built trailer, is where I can take this car. There's no limitations. So I'll do another video on that later. That's basically it for this. So like and subscribe if you want to see some more content, or you have questions about stuff, or you want a video on a certain part of the car. Feel free to actually put in the comments about the section you want to see more of, and I'll do a video of it. Thank you. Bye.